Every single day, millions of people around the world reach for a Pepsi, eagerly anticipating that signature crispness that has become synonymous with the brand. But have you ever stopped to wonder how this beloved drink makes it from the factory to your hands? What does it take to produce millions of bottles daily, each with the same refreshing taste and perfect carbonation? In today's video, we'll take you on an exclusive tour inside an American Pepsi factory where modern technology and meticulous processes meet to produce this iconic beverage on an enormous scale. If you're a Pepsi enthusiast, just like us, hit that like button, subscribe to our channel, and tag along for this exciting journey. Stick around until the end, because what you discover about Pepsi's production may just change the way you enjoy your next sip. And hey, your support means a lot. It helps us continue bringing fascinating factory stories like these. Pepsi's allure isn't just about sugar and fizz. It's a perfectly crafted symphony of flavors designed to hit your taste buds just right. The distinct sweetness comes from high fructose corn syrup, which delivers a consistent sweetness without overwhelming the palate. The slight hint of citrus adds a refreshing tang that balances the drink's sweetness and makes it feel less heavy than other sodas. This delicate blend is no accident. Pepsi's recipe is the result of decades of research and flavor optimization, ensuring it appeals to a wide variety of consumers. The flavor also taps into psychological factors. Research shows that Pepsi's sweetness and acidity activate pleasure centers in the brain, similar to the effect of chocolate. That's why you find yourself reaching for a second can, or even a third. While some brands rely heavily on sugar content, Pepsi's flavor engineers have perfected a formula that feels refreshing without the cloying aftertaste. This careful attention to detail is one of the reasons Pepsi has remained a top contender in the global beverage market for over a century. In recent years, PepsiCo has taken significant steps towards sustainable packaging to reduce its environmental impact. One of the most noteworthy moves is the introduction of refillable glass bottles. These bottles aren't just eco-friendly, they also enhance the drinking experience. Glass preserves carbonation better than plastic, keeping the soda fizzier for longer. Plus, it eliminates any risk of the drink picking up off flavors from plastic, offering a purer taste. The refillable bottle system is designed to reduce waste. After consumers return their empty bottles, they are thoroughly cleaned, sterilized, and refilled. This closed-loop system minimizes waste and encourages repeat purchases, contributing to both environmental goals and customer loyalty. Pepsi has also introduced a new generation of plastic bottles made from recycled materials, further reducing its carbon footprint. Pepsi's sleek black bottles are a striking visual on store shelves, but they come with a recycling challenge. Black plastic absorbs infrared light, making it difficult for automated sorting systems at recycling plants to identify and process them. While these bottles are aesthetically appealing, PepsiCo has faced criticism from environmental groups concerned about their impact on waste streams. In response, PepsiCo is actively researching innovative ways to make black bottles more sustainable. One promising solution involves redesigning the plastic formula to make it detectable by recycling scanners. Another idea under consideration is adding unique markers to the bottles, allowing them to be easily sorted and recycled. This commitment to finding sustainable solutions reflects Pepsi's broader efforts to balance design innovation with environmental responsibility. Step inside a Pepsi factory, and you'll be greeted by a world where technology takes center stage. The production process is almost entirely automated, with machines performing tasks at lightning speed. From cleaning and filling bottles to capping and labeling them, every step is meticulously choreographed to ensure consistency and efficiency. It all begins with the cleaning process, where bottles, both plastic and glass, are thoroughly washed and inspected by high-speed cameras. Even the slightest imperfection leads to rejection, ensuring only flawless bottles move forward. Next, the bottles glide along conveyor belts toward the filling stations, where robots inject precisely measured amounts of Pepsi syrup and carbonated water into each one. The machines are so precise that they can fill thousands of bottles per minute without a single spill. Once filled, the bottles are capped and sealed to lock in freshness. Robotic arms then arrange the bottles into crates or cartons, preparing them for shipment. Throughout the process, human supervisors monitor operations to ensure everything runs smoothly. PepsiCo's product line extends beyond soda to include ready-to-drink iced coffee, a favorite among busy professionals. These beverages offer the perfect balance of coffee, milk, and sweetness, providing a consistent taste experience that's hard to replicate at home. Unlike homemade coffee, which can vary in flavor and strength, Pepsi's iced coffee is produced under controlled conditions to ensure every bottle tastes the same. The production process involves brewing large batches of high-quality coffee, which is then blended with milk and sugar in precise proportions. Once mixed, the coffee is chilled and bottled, ready to be enjoyed on the go. The convenience of ready-to-drink coffee appeals to consumers with hectic schedules, making it a popular choice in the fast-paced modern world. PepsiCo's factories aren't just about drinks. They also produce a wide range of foods, including spicy noodles, bubble gum, gummies, and chocolate biscuits. In the noodle section, the process begins with mixing flour, water, and salt to create a dough. This dough is rolled out into thin sheets, cut into noodles, and steamed to achieve the perfect texture. Next, the noodles are flash fried to lock in flavor and packaged with seasoning packets for quick and easy preparation at home. The confectionery section is equally impressive. Bubble gum is poured into molds and shaped by specialized machines, while gummy candies are meticulously portioned into jars using advanced counting systems. In the biscuit section, robotic arms fill crispy waffle biscuits with layers of smooth chocolate, creating a treat that's impossible to resist. While Coca-Cola keeps its recipe locked away in a vault, Pepsi takes a different approach by showcasing its production process openly. The factory tour reveals the precision with which Pepsi combines carbonated water and syrup to create its signature drink. Each bottle is carefully filled, capped, and labeled to ensure the perfect balance of flavor and fizz. The use of glass bottles plays a key role in enhancing the drinking experience. Unlike plastic, glass preserves carbonation better, giving Pepsi an extra fizz that sets it apart. Watching the production line in action, it's clear that every detail, from the alignment of bottle nozzles to the speed of conveyor belts, is carefully managed to deliver the highest quality product. Pepsi's packaging is more than just functional. It's a carefully crafted experience designed to appeal to both the eyes and the emotions. The bright colors, bold fonts, and tactile surfaces of Pepsi cans and bottles are the result of extensive research into consumer psychology. PepsiCo knows that packaging plays a crucial role in attracting customers and enhancing their enjoyment of the product. In the factory, robotic arms swiftly stack bottles and cans into cartons, wrapping them securely for transport. The packaging process is a marvel of efficiency, with machines working in perfect sync to ensure every unit is ready for shipment without a single mix-up. PepsiCo also produces energy drinks, catering to consumers who need a quick pick-me-up. These drinks are packed with caffeine, vitamins, and electrolytes, offering both refreshment and functionality. As with other products, the factory ensures that energy drinks are processed with the utmost care to maintain their quality and freshness. Before throwing away your empty Pepsi bottle, consider its potential for creative reuse. With a bit of imagination, these bottles can be transformed into vases, candle holders, or even planters. This approach not only reduces waste, but also adds a personal touch to home decor, demonstrating how everyday items can be repurposed in meaningful ways. As the production process nears completion, each bottle and can undergoes a final inspection to ensure it meets PepsiCo's rigorous standards. Machines check for defects in labels, caps, and packaging, ensuring that only perfect products leave the factory. Once approved, the products are boxed, labeled, and loaded onto pallets, ready to be shipped to stores across the country. The journey starts far from the shelves of your local grocery store. It begins in the fields, cocoa pods ripening under the sun, hazelnuts being harvested, sugar beets dug up from the earth. Today, we're peeling back the layers and diving into the entire process, from cocoa pod to Nutella jar. So grab a snack and stick around. We're about to explore how this fan-favorite spread goes from farm to factory and finally into your hands. will begin our journey at the cocoa plantations. Cocoa, it's possible that you've heard it wrong. Although most of us are familiar with it as an ingredient in chocolate, few of us have ever seen the actual production process. Imagine a forest of verdant, tropical trees, each one clustered with a plethora of golden cocoa pods. Using their machetes as if they were an extension of their arm, skilled laborers systematically traverse the fields. They are exceedingly precise, picking only the ripest pods and letting the rest ripen to perfection. Working with cocoa pods, which contain the seeds that will grow into beans, is a physically demanding and time-sensitive process. The flavor of your Nutella actually starts with these seeds. Workers carefully load up big baskets with the harvest, taking care not to break any pods along the way. The following phase starts after they have collected a haul. On the way to the processing factory, the workers check each basket full of pods to make sure they are still of the highest quality. The first transition occurs when the pods arrive at the processing plant. In order to remove any dirt, leaves, or other impurities that may have accompanied them from the farm, they are spread out on tables and scrubbed clean by either humans or machines. The delicate cocoa flavor could be ruined if any contaminants are introduced at this critical stage. When the pods start to shine, it's time to open them. Workers carefully crack open each pod using sharp instruments, exposing rows of shiny, wet cocoa beans enclosed by a gooey, white pulp. The beans still don't resemble chocolate in any significant way. They resemble soft, chewy seeds at the moment. The secret to Nutella's famous flavor is actually inside these beans, so don't be deceived. Scooping out the beans from the pods is the next step. Although this step requires a lot of manual labor, every bean is important. The objective is straightforward: preserve the integrity of each and every useful seed while extracting it. The beans are sorted after they are free to make sure only the best ones move on to the next step. The ones that make it through the inspection can be dried now. The air drying process, which is gradual and steady, will now begin. You would be correct in picturing these beans being baked in the scorching sun. The beans are spread out on huge drying platforms and allowed to soak up the heat. Not only will this make them dry, but it will also bring out their natural flavor. As they dry, the beans lose water, which concentrates their chocolatey flavor. Depending on the weather and the unique requirements of each batch, this procedure can take days or even longer. The beans are ready for quality testing when they are completely dried. Professionals step in at this point. They listen for the sound of cracked beans in addition to size, color, and scent when evaluating beans. After each bean is examined, it is placed aside and marked for the next stage of the process. However, batches are either reprocessed or rejected if they do not fulfill the stringent quality standards. No bean will do unless it meets the exacting standards of Nutella. Now that everything is in order, the beans can be roasted. Things begin to smell absolutely lovely at this point. Imagine enormous roasters, turning the beans gently to get an even roast while maintaining high temperatures. The objective is to accentuate the robust flavor that will underpin the chocolatey Nutella flavor. After roasting is finished, the beans are passed through a machine that removes the cocoa nibs from the husks. The process revolves around the nibs, which are the raw materials used to make cocoa powder. To effectively eliminate the husks while preserving the nibs, the separating process must be meticulous. Accurately striking this equilibrium requires high-tech equipment. The nibs that have been separated are gathered and prepared for their subsequent metamorphosis. Prior to delving into that topic, it is important to mention that the entirety of the cocoa bean is utilized, even the husks, which can be transformed into alternative goods. Effort is not wasted. The nibs can be separated and ground into a fine powder now. The chocolate taste basis that will become Nutella's soul is this powder. Not any powder, though. It takes a lot of skill to grind cocoa nibs. To achieve a fine, smooth texture, the nibs are first ground several times after being broken down into smaller pieces. Extracting the cocoa butter from the nibs is the first step in making a thick, rich powder that may be mixed with other ingredients. This is the second round of quality checks on the powder, during which we measure its uniformity, flavor, and texture. It is returned to the grinding table for a second attempt if it fails. After it's just right, it's put in a bag and put aside until it meets the other Nutella stars: milk, sugar, and hazelnuts. The sugar beet farms are our next stop, so let's change topics. Sugar is a key ingredient in Nutella, but it's easy to forget that the spread wouldn't be the same without it. After removing them from the ground and shaking off any leftover dirt, farmers harvest tons of sugar beets. After harvesting, the beets are taken to a processing facility to undergo cleaning, cutting, and shredding. Fascinatingly, all parts of the beet are utilized in this process, whether it's for sugar or other byproducts. There is a lengthy process that begins with shredding the beets and ends with boiling and centrifuging the liquid to separate the sugar crystals from the pulp. Nutella goes through extensive quality testing before any sugar is added, ensuring the sugar is completely pure, free of any impurities that could change the texture or flavor of the end result is the main objective. The mixing stage is reserved for the finest sugar. All right, let's move on to milk. A lot of credit for Nutella's velvety consistency goes to the high-quality milk that went into making it. Where the cows are fed and cared for properly is where the milk comes from. There will always be plenty of Nutella-quality milk from these cows because they are bred to produce a lot of milk. Transporting the milk to a facility for testing ensures it satisfies all regulations once it is collected. We will reject anything that even slightly tastes odd or seems contaminated. Milk is processed into milk powder after it passes all tests. This powder is then combined with the other ingredients. Collecting and preparing hazelnuts. Without a doubt, hazelnuts are the most recognizable Nutella component. The finest hazelnuts are plucked in the late summer from Turkish orchards. Ripe hazelnuts fall to the ground as a result of machinery gently shaking the trees. The next step is to collect the nuts, sort them, and then send them to the processing plant. The hazelnuts are roasted to bring out their rich, nutty flavor after being cleaned to remove any impurities. Only the finest hazelnuts are selected for further inspection after roasting. At last, they are ground into a paste that will give Nutella its rich, nutty flavor. Unfortunately, palm oil is essential to Nutella's velvety smoothness, despite its undeserved negative reputation. Produced from sustainably farmed palm fruits, Nutella's palm oil is a secret ingredient. Before pressing the fruits to extract their oil, they are sanitized to kill any bacteria. Before it's mixed with Nutella, this oil is filtered and refined to make sure it's top-notch. Combine all of the ingredients at once. The hazelnut paste, cocoa powder, sugar, and milk powder are mixed in big industrial mixers. The meticulous mixing process gives Nutella its signature silky smooth texture by allowing all of the ingredients plenty of time to blend together. Technicians watch the blending process closely at every stage to make sure the consistency is perfect, which might take hours. To achieve perfection, every parameter is precisely controlled, including temperature, mixing speed, and even room humidity. Once all the ingredients are in the mixer, cocoa powder, hazelnut paste, sugar, milk powder, and the all-important palm oil, what happens next is pure culinary chemistry. The ingredients don't just mix together right away, it's a process, carefully timed and executed to create that signature creamy texture Nutella is famous for. The mixer starts off slow, blending everything together in stages. First, the dry ingredients are fully incorporated, ensuring that there are no lumps or inconsistencies in the powder. This is where attention to detail is key. Too fast, and the mixture becomes too dense. Too slow, and it won't blend properly. After the initial mixing, the process ramps up. Now it's all about refining the texture. The mixture is continuously stirred and whipped with the goal of achieving that iconic smoothness. Machines are constantly monitoring the consistency to make sure there are no gritty bits and that the spread remains light and silky. The temperature is carefully controlled as well, ensuring that none of the ingredients overheat or separate. During this phase, secret ingredients are added, small touches that give Nutella its unique flavor profile. These are tightly guarded by the company, so we can only speculate what might go in. But once those are added, the mixture is stirred for hours until it reaches the perfect consistency. By now, it's not just a collection of ingredients, it's Nutella, ready to be jarred and enjoyed. Now that the Nutella has reached its final form, it's time to package it up. This part of the process is mesmerizing to watch. Picture huge vats of Nutella being funneled into a network of automated machines, each one responsible for filling those iconic jars. The machinery is precise. Each jar is filled to the exact same level, with no spills or excess. As the jars pass down the conveyor belt, they're quickly capped with airtight lids to lock in the freshness. The lids are then sealed to preserve the flavor and keep out any unwanted air. This is crucial because Nutella's texture and flavor can change if exposed to the wrong conditions. The next step is quality control. As the jars whiz by, workers and machines alike are on the lookout for any imperfections. Whether it's a jar that wasn't filled enough, a lid that wasn't properly sealed, or a label that's out of place. Those jars are quickly pulled from the line to be reprocessed. The remaining jars continue their journey, ready to be labeled. With the jars now sealed, it's time for labeling and distribution. Automated machines print the famous Nutella labels and apply them to each jar with precision. The labels are more than just decoration. They contain vital information like the expiration date, nutritional facts, and a barcode that will track each jar on its journey from the factory to the store. After labeling, the jars are boxed up and prepared for shipping. Depending on the destination, they might be packed into crates, loaded onto pallets, or even placed in special climate-controlled containers to ensure they arrive at their final destination in perfect condition. From there, the Nutella jars are shipped out to grocery stores, restaurants, and homes all over the world. Hey, did you know that chickens are happiest when they roam in their natural surroundings? That's right. These feathery birds truly thrive when they are able to enjoy fresh air, forage for food, and live the way they intend to. The best part? This natural, stress-free lifestyle leads to happier, healthier chickens, and when they're happy, the quality of their eggs and overall well-being shines through. It's a win-win for both farmers and these cute little creatures. Pretty cool, right? Well, welcome to the world of free-range chicken farming. In today's video, we're going to dive into the world of free-range farming and why it's a better, more humane alternative to factory farming. From raising chicks to having the best farm-to-table process that gets those delicious eggs and meat to your plate, will be covered in the next few minutes. But before we dive into the details, hit that subscribe button and let's get on to this farming journey together. Trust me, you don't want to miss out on the series of farming products and procedure we will bring up on this channel. So, what's the big deal about free-range chicken farming anyway? Well, let me paint you a picture. Imagine a flock of chickens happily wandering around a green pasture. They're scratching at the soil, munching on bugs and worms, and soaking up the sunlight. This is a far cry from the cramped, overcrowded conditions you often see in factory farming. In free-range farming, chickens are allowed to roam outside for most of the day, only returning to their coops at night for safety and rest. This freedom to move and forage naturally has a huge impact on their overall health and well-being. And guess what? This isn't just good for the chickens, it's good for you too. The eggs they produce have deeper orange yolks, are richer in vitamins like A and E, and are bursting with flavor. Here's the thing. When chickens are raised in a natural environment, it leads to lower stress levels, which translates directly into better tasting, higher quality eggs. These aren't your run-of-the-mill store-bought eggs that come from hens packed together in cages. These are free-range eggs, and once you've tasted them, you'll never look back. Let's kick things off at the very beginning, incubation and rearing the chicks. This is where the magic starts. You can't just grab any egg and expect it to hatch into a fluffy little chick. No, you need fertilized eggs, which means the hens have to mate with roosters. That's where the fun starts. The rooster courts the hen, and after some time, fertilized eggs are laid. Now, once we've got these fertilized eggs, it's time to place them in an incubator. You see, in a natural setting, the hen would sit on the eggs, keeping them warm until they hatch. But in farming, we use specialized incubators to mimic this environment. These machines are carefully designed to maintain the perfect temperature and humidity levels for hatching. And trust me, getting this right is crucial. Too hot or too cold, and the eggs won't hatch properly. After about 21 days in the incubator, you'll start to see the eggs crack, and out come these tiny fluffy chicks. It's an incredible sight. But this is just the beginning. The chicks are extremely vulnerable at this stage, and their environment needs to be carefully controlled to ensure they grow strong and healthy. In the first few weeks after hatching, maintaining the right environment is key. The chicks are placed in brooders, where the temperature is kept between 30 and 35 degrees Celsius. This mimics the warmth they'd get from their mother hen in the wild. At this stage, they're still very fragile and need constant warmth to survive. But temperature isn't the only thing you need to keep an eye on. The chicks also need a steady supply of fresh water and nutritious feed. Dehydration can set in fast, especially in warm environments, so making sure they have easy access to water is essential. The feed, on the other hand, needs to be packed with the right nutrients to support rapid growth. As the weeks go by, you can start gradually lowering the temperature, allowing the chicks to acclimate to cooler conditions. By the time they're a few weeks old, they'll have grown enough to handle life outside the brooder, and they'll start transitioning to the great outdoors. Let's talk a bit more about what goes into feeding these chicks. In the early stages, their feed needs to be high in protein, vitamins, and minerals. Think of it as giving them a power-packed diet that helps them grow from tiny fluff balls into strong, healthy chickens. Protein is especially important because it helps in the development of muscles and feathers. As the chicks get older, their dietary needs change. They require less warmth but more space to move around and exercise. This is where free-range farming starts to show its benefits. By allowing the chickens to roam outside, they're able to forage for natural food sources like insects and plants, which complements their regular feed. What's cool about free-range farming is that it encourages chickens to engage in natural behaviors like scratching, dust bathing, and foraging. These activities aren't just fun for the chickens, they help keep them fit and healthy, which in turn leads to better quality eggs and meat. Now let's take a closer look at why free-range chicken farming is such a game changer. First off, it's all about the welfare of the chickens. In conventional farming systems, Chickens are often kept in cages so small they can barely move. This leads to high levels of stress, which can affect their health and the quality of the eggs and meat they produce. But in a free-range system, chickens are free to roam, explore, and engage in natural behaviors. This reduces stress and improves their immune systems and results in healthier, happier birds. And the benefits don't stop there. Free-range farming is also more sustainable than conventional farming. Because the chickens are allowed to forage for part of their diet, farmers can reduce the amount of commercial feed they need to buy. Plus, free-range systems generally produce less waste and use less energy than intensive farming operations. And let's not forget about the environmental benefits. Free-range chickens help maintain healthy soil by scratching at the ground and fertilizing it with their droppings. It's a natural cycle that promotes sustainability and reduces the need for chemical fertilizers. But before we can let the chickens roam free, we need to make sure they have a safe place to call home. Building a proper coop is essential for their well-being. The coop needs to be sturdy enough to protect the chickens from predators like foxes, raccoons, and hawks. It also needs to provide shelter from harsh weather conditions, whether it's the scorching heat of summer or the freezing temperatures of winter. Ventilation is another key factor to consider. Chickens need a steady supply of fresh air to stay healthy, but the coop also needs to be warm and dry to prevent respiratory issues. It's all about finding the right balance. Inside the coop, you'll need to provide comfortable nesting boxes for the hens to lay their eggs. These boxes should be lined with soft bedding like straw or wood shavings, which helps keep the eggs clean and protected until you collect them. All right, let's talk eggs. If you've ever compared a free-range egg to a conventional egg, you've probably noticed the difference right away. Free-range eggs have richer, deeper-colored yolks, thanks to the chicken's varied diet of grains, insects, and plants. They're also higher in certain vitamins and minerals, making them a healthier choice overall. But the benefits of free-range eggs go beyond nutrition. Because the chickens are allowed to roam freely and engage in natural behaviors, they're less stressed and healthier, which leads to better quality eggs. These eggs are often considered more flavorful than those produced by caged hens, and they've become increasingly popular in markets around the world, despite their slightly higher price point. And while free-range eggs may be more expensive to produce, many consumers are willing to pay a premium for the superior taste and quality. It's a testament to the growing demand for more humane and sustainable farming practices. Now let's switch gears a bit. Free-range chickens aren't just prized for their eggs. They're also a popular source of meat. Once the chickens reach maturity, they're transported to processing facilities where they're prepared for market. The process begins with the chickens being transported to slaughter lines. This is done using automated systems that minimize stress for the animals. From there, the chickens are humanely slaughtered and prepared for the next stages of processing. After slaughter, the chickens are moved to machines that handle the feather plucking. This process is quick and efficient, removing the feathers and getting the chickens ready for further processing. Once the feathers are removed, the chickens are cleaned and prepared for the next stages of production. This includes gutting and preparing the meat for packaging. Once the chickens have been processed, they're cooled and cleaned to ensure they remain fresh and safe to eat. This is typically done using cold water baths or air-cooled tunnels, which help to reduce the growth of bacteria and extend the shelf life of the meat. It's a crucial step in ensuring that the chicken you buy at the store is safe to eat and has a long shelf life. Did you know that chicken is one of the most widely consumed meats in the world? It's true, chicken meat production has been on the rise globally, especially in countries like the United States, Brazil, and China. Chicken is affordable, easy to cook, and packed with protein, making it a popular choice for meals around the world. In fact, the demand for chicken is so high that it has become one of the most accessible and affordable protein sources available. This is especially true in countries like the United States, where chicken is a staple in most households. Once the chickens are processed, they're divided into different cuts: breasts, legs, wings, and more. These cuts are then packaged using automated lines, ensuring that the meat is properly stored and ready for shipment. Packaging is typically done in either plastic or cardboard containers, which help to keep the meat fresh and protected during transport. When it comes to nutrition, chicken meat is a powerhouse. It's low in fat, high in protein, and packed with essential vitamins and minerals like B6, B12, and niacin. It's also a great source of selenium and phosphorus, which are important for maintaining healthy bones and a strong immune system. But as with any food, it's important to handle chicken properly to avoid foodborne illnesses. Make sure you cook it thoroughly and store it at the right temperature to prevent the risk of food poisoning. Finally, once the chickens are packaged, they're stored in cold storage until they're ready to be shipped out. Cold chain transportation ensures that the meat remains fresh and safe to eat by the time it reaches consumers. From the farm to the table, every step of the process is carefully managed to ensure the highest quality product possible. And there you have it. From chick to chicken, egg to meat, free-range chicken farming offers a more natural, healthier, and sustainable way to raise chickens. If you're inspired by this journey or just love the idea of bringing farm-fresh products to your table, make sure to subscribe and stay tuned for more deep dives into the world of farming. Until next time, keep it free range.